Good morning, children. Hope you fine. Today I'm going to take the third part of the story, The Best Christmas Present in the World, written by Michael Morpurgo. Before that, starting the third part of the chapter, let us have a quick recap about the second part and first part. The narrator bought a desk from an antique shop. While repairing, he saw a secret drawer and found a letter. He read the letter. It was written by Jim McPherson to his wife Connie. Jim was a soldier of British Army and he was deployed to fight against German army. In his letter, Jim had described an evening at the war front. At the war front, instead of fighting, both British as well as the German armies celebrated Christmas Eve together merrily. They were making peace at war. This is the quick recap of the first and second part of the story. Children, now I am taking the third part of the story. Page number 14, third part. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. I kept awake all night. By morning, I know what I had to do. I drove into the Bridport, just a few miles away. I asked a boy walking his dog where the Copper Beeches was. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but burned out shell. Underline that word, burnt out. The roof gaping. Underline that word, gaping. The windows boarded up. Underline that word, boarded up. I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone know whereabouts of a Mrs. McPherson. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. He know her well. A lovely old lady. He told me a bit muddle-headed. Underline that word, muddle-headed. But at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? 101 years old. She had been in the house when it catch fire. No one really know how the fire had started, but it could well have been candle. She used the candle rather than the electricity because she always thought electricity was too expensive. The fireman had got her out just in time. She was in nursing home now. He told me Burlington House on the Dorchester Road on the other side of the town. Meanings of the difficult words. Burnt out means destroyed by fire. Then gaping means open. Open. Then boarded up, covered with wooden boards. Muddle-headed means confused. Now the summary of the third part. The author finished the reading letter, but he could not sleep well at that all night. He kept on thinking about it to do. The next morning, he took his car and went to search the Connie. He went to that particular address. He found nothing there but a house which was damaged in fire. He could not understand anything, so he went to Connie's neighbor. The neighbor told that Connie was a fine lady, but lately she had muddle-headed. And one evening the house got fire and she thought that it may be from candle because she did not use the electricity because she thought that the electricity was too expensive, so she did not use the electricity. Maybe because of the candle the house must have fire. After that, Connie shifted to nursing home. That nursing home was away from the town. It was at the place of Dorchester. Page number 15. I found the Burlington House nursing home easily enough. There were paper chains Up in the hallway and lighted Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angel on top. Underline the difficult words lopsided. Then paper chain. I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. I could see through into dining room where everyone was wearing paper hats and singing. The matron had, underline that word matron. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. She even offered me a mince pie. Underline that word mince pie. She walked me along the corridor. Mrs. Macpherson is not in with the others. She told me she is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a good rest. She has no family, you know, no one visitors, so I am sure she will be only too pleased to see you. She took me into the conservatory. Underline that word conservatory. With wicker chain, underline that wicker, and a potted plant all around and lift me. Meaning of the difficult words. Paper chain means these are the decorations made with papers. Made with papers. Lopsided means tilted to one side. Tilted to one side. Matron. Matron means head of the nursing home. Head of the nursing home. Mince pie means non-vegetarian, a non-vegetarian food. A non-vegetarian food. Then conservatory means a kind of greenhouse. A kind of greenhouse. Wicker means a thin canes woven to make furniture or basket. A thin canes woven to make furniture or basket. After that, narrator decided to meet the Connie, so he went to that nursing home. But Connie was not there. A nurse, that is matron, who helped the narrator to find the Connie's room. The narrator told him that, the nurse told him that Connie was not feeling fine on that day, because she was so confused, so she is not feeling well on that particular day. Page number 15, paragraph 3. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. She had silver white hair pinned into a wispy bun. Underline the word wispy. She was gazing out at the garden. Underline the word gazing. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. Vacantly, underline. Happy Christmas, Connie. I went on. I found these things. It's yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. I opened the tin box and gazed to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up. Underline the word lit up. With recognition, and her face became suffused. Underline the word suffused. With a sudden glow of happiness, I explained about the desk, about how I had found it, but I don't think she was listening. For a while, she said nothing but stroked the letter tenderly. Underline the word tenderly with her fingerprint. Meaning of the difficult words. Wispy means not very neat or untidy. Not very neat or untidy. Gazing. Gazing means to look out. To look out. Vacantly means completely lost. Completely lost. Lit up, that you can see in the glossary, become bright with happiness, excitement. Then suffused means, that is also you can see in glossary, glow of happiness spread all over her face. Now the summary of the third paragraph. The narrator went inside the room. There he saw a lady sitting in the wheelchair. Her hair were white. The lady looked little confused and unhappy because she is waiting for her husband Jim Macpherson. The author wished her Happy Christmas and kept that letter in his lap. And he started to explain that how he found the letter and how reached her. But the Connie was confused. When she see the letter, she actually not listening the author's. She was in some other world, which has made her that the person sitting in front was actually her husband Jim Macpherson. She thought that the narrator asked her husband. Page number 16. She said nothing but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. Tenderly means gently. Suddenly she reached out and took my hands. Her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you had come. By Christmas, dearest, she said, and here you are, the best Christmas present in the world. Come closer, Jim dear, sit down. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheek. I read your letter so often, Jim. Every day I wanted to hear your voice in my head. It always made me feel you were with me. And now you are. Now you are back, you can read it to me yourself. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? I just wanted to hear your voice again. I had loved that so much. And then perhaps we will have some tea. I have made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan all around. I know how much you love marzipan. Here, the Connie said that she had read the letter so many times, and the Jim kept one promise that he will be with Connie in the next Christmas. She was very happy. She knows how the Jim Macpherson like marzipan and a Christmas cake. Marzipan means, we already seen in the glossary that marzipan means a sweet covering on a cake with made from sugar and egg. Okay, she knows how the Jim Macpherson like marzipan and Christmas cake, and she said the narrator to read the letter once again because she wanted to hear the voice again and again. There was a glow of happiness on her face, and she said that the Jim herself was a best Christmas present to her. The author did not want to tell the truth that he is not her husband Jim Macpherson. So he kept sitting there and thinking himself how love can affect a person. So children, this was the summary of the chapter. Children, this is your homework. You have to find out the answers for these questions. Difficult words. We can see in the next class. Thank you, children.